Hello and welcome to another episode of our Speakeasy podcast. As always,
I'm Ken.
and I am Sean. How's everybody doing?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, they said just fine. What's going on,
What's
folks?
up, guys? Here we are.
Yeah, we're a couple days late.
Oh, yes, this is true.
But
yeah,
because we wanted to do this today.
we wanted to. We'll get to it, but we wanted to talk a little bit more on our current situation here in New Jersey. We felt like we didn't give in our last episode the talk the justice it deserved, or whatever the saying is.
A couple episodes ago, we did it just a little bit because you were the only one experiencing it.
Yes.
And now it's got out of control.
I told these guys before about this regarding the drones. I had told these guys before they came here, maybe we could talk about the drones. They're like, what are you talking about, Ken?
No clue.
Yeah. So I was like, no, this is a situation. This is what's going on, whatever. And they're like, all right, I guess we can talk about it, you nutter.
Yeah.
But now there's a lot that's happened since then, and we kind of wanted to talk on that more. Many of you guys know we don't just do one episode when we're here every time. We do a couple episodes where we're actually kind of...
We're pushing one back.
Yeah, we had to push one back because we wanted to talk about this a little bit more. But
it's important. I think it's important to talk about
it.
This
Is important.
This is pretty crazy.
But it set us back a day or two in airing, but that's not the end of the world, I guess.
All six of you, I'm sure you're upset, but that's okay.
This one I may actually try to air tonight if I can, like right after we're, but we'll see what happens and see if that happens. Might be overnight or because there's editing involved and all that fun stuff.
Don't go crazy.
We shall see.
But first, what do we got today?
Okay, today we are doing... This is a store pick coming from Bottle Republic out of, this is in Denville or Randolph, New Jersey. They did a Four Roses store pick. Sometimes you luck out and they have, whoever's doing the picks at these places can pick some decent stuff. They know what they're doing and what people are kind of looking for. Not to say that any Four Roses pick is necessarily better. It's whatever, your taste is when it comes to... Four Roses. Some people might like something that's a little higher rye. Some people might like something that has certain notes, higher alcohol, etc., etc. If you buy any of these barrel strengths, don't ever get confused. First and foremost, you can see a bottle that looks just like this, and you could see it on the store for like $40. That's not what this is. This is a barrel strength. Right. What you're seeing there is like a small batch.
Small batch.
Yeah, kind of like a small batch version, and it's always going to be a consistent proof. Although Four Roses just recently started putting out new dedicated recipe bottles, so it's not just that one now.
Okay.
They actually have ones just like that are OESO, OBSK, OESQ, all these other different ones.
But they're probably not like $40 though.
I saw them at the store the other day. I didn't bother to check the price.
Okay.
I should have. But they have 10 recipes, and some of them are OBSV, OBSK, OBSQ, OBSO, OBSF, OESV, OESK, OESQ, OESO, and OESF. Each one has their own dedicated notes that you should find when you're having it. To give you an example, if you have a OBSQ, it's floral, like rose petals, spicy, medium body. If you have an OESV, it's delicate, fruity, fresh, creamy. OESK, spicy, full body. So it's cool that they put these definitions in and everything. It's just different recipes here.
I remember when we went there, when we did the tasting, they were talking about all these different things. And she had like the board, and she was going over it, and my head was just like, I don't know.
Yes, if you know nothing about it,
drink it?
If you know nothing about it and what the whole recipe thing, et cetera, you might be like, all right, I don't get it.
Yeah.
This is a little confusing. What are they talking about here? But the more interesting thing too is that you can have a recipe. They have 10 recipes, but there's different tiers. There's different locations of the warehouse. They have different things. When it comes to Four Roses, you can everything has its own little. They have a little code on the bottom. It used to be handwritten. Now they print them out. It was cooler when they were handwritten. And it'll tell you basically the section of the warehouse. This one in particular is SN. And it could be like, and I think it might be north or something.
South north?
No, it's not south north. But yeah. Each thing has a dedication there. Sorry, people, you can look it up if you really want to know. But the cool thing, and the one thing that really attracted my eye to this one was that this is a 6T. 6 being 6 tier. 6 tier is like the high tier for the Four Roses warehouse. So each tier has like a certain alcohol percentage. I like boozy stuff. So 6 tier, when it comes to boozy, that's going to be the most boozy you're going to get is your 6 tier stuff. Which also means it's a little bit, if you're buying it in the secondary market, it's a higher price tag, people.
And when you're saying tier, you mean the level that the barrel's stored on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so it's up there.
From what I understand, yes. Okay. And if this is a 6 tier, then yeah, it's definitely higher alcohol. Another cool thing about this one, when you watch a lot of these videos on YouTube and you watch them, and just from friends and just from personal experience, this is one that is a recipe that is a little bit more sought after too as well. This is an OESO. OESO 6 tier. I mean, this is kind of like when it comes to what most people, not all people, are looking for. An OESO 6 tier is not bad to have. Let's just put it that way. And this one is the notes for an OESO is fruity, like red berries, medium body. But yeah, this one is, like I said, from Bottle Republic, aged 9 years, 3 months. It's 75% corn, 20% rye, 5% malted barley. So it's almost at that 10-year mark, some good 10 years, like a Eagle Rare, you have some other good stuff. 10 years is a nice mark when it comes to age. So that's a pretty good age statement on this thing, too, as well.
Yes, sir.
And this is coming at 60.6% alcohol, which is, like I said, it's going to be a higher proof, a little boozier, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for us to drink this because John's I don't want to hear you talk any more about recipes.
Yeah, I don't even know what
I think it's the proof is in this pudding right here.
Just a little bit.
There we go.
Tiny tap.
That's some Caddyshack reference there.
So when we went there, this place was actually really cool.
Yeah.
I really knew not much about Four Roses when we went to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And it was like I was back in Spain.
It
was really
was like,
cool.
Yeah, the design there, the architecture there, it is really cool. And John hit the nail on the head with that one. It is like being in Spain.
And actually, we got this glass as well.
Oh, yeah, that's
it's
right.
got the Four Roses glass on the bottom.
And they said you could use it as a cookie cutter, right? or whatever.
Or a marker.
A marker, yeah. So that was, when we did the tour, we had little water glasses that we had with our whiskey, or bourbon, and we...
got to take home the water glass.
They're like, you can keep the glass. We're like, really?
Sweet.
Sold. And I bought one, too. John gave it to me. He's like, make sure that you use that one because we're drinking Four Roses. I didn't even think about it. Good thing he said something. So here we are, drinking some Four Roses. Let's get this nose.
Right.
Are you getting the berry, though? Are you getting that kind of like,
I'm getting more of like a cherry.
Well, cherry's kind of,
Is cherry a berry? I don't know.
Berries and cherries and berries. Sounds the same.
It is floral. I can go with that. I don't know if you put it in my head or if that's what I'm smelling, but I can smell.
That's always the problem about reading a description of something before you
have it.
Puts
it in your head.
Yeah, it's in your head now.
So floral might be.
I'm getting slight ethanol, but for 60%, I'm not thinking that it's that bad as far as like it's not burning my nose hairs off here right now. So
it's very nice.
Yeah,
it smells very subtle.
Yeah,
Mrs. Esterhouse.
I was waiting for that. Is that another
Caddyshack?
I'm getting some candy notes, sweet aromatics.
Definitely sweet.
Yeah. What else? There's something else there, but
there is.
I'm getting a slight candy grape kind of note to it. I don't know, something there.
I was gonna throw another fruit out, like a candy apple, like a red candy apple.
Okay, I can get a little caramel. I can get a little apple on that. Slight tart, yep, maybe. I don't know. Let's try it out.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
It's boozier in the mouth than it is on the smell.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yes, I do feel that heat in the mouth.
Yeah, and
slight Kentucky hug.
A little hug.
Yeah.
Good flavor.
Yeah. It's warming. I can drink this while having chestnuts by the open fire.
I get almost like a little cinnamon, peppermint, something minty, something strong. Something spicy.
Spicy, I can see. Minty, I'm not seeing. I mean, I have that cherry in my head now because now I'm thinking slight notes of cherry.
I do get that apple taste, though. I feel like I get that apple taste on the tongue. And then you lick your lips.
A little bit. But I'm getting that oaky, man. It's in that barrel for 9 years, you know? I'm getting some of that oak there.
100%.
Yeah.
No, good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So, once again, I mean, you can have an OESO that is one tier. It might be from whatever section of the warehouse. And when people might ask, why does a section of a warehouse matter? Like, if it's on this corner, well, there's windows, there's heat, there's everything. There's more things that could come into play. There might be a sweet spot. Back in the day, that's how they started doing some of these higher end bottles of bourbon. They were finding these distillers who knew their shit were finding the honey barrels, and were finding the ones that were like, ooh, I know an area in the warehouse where the barrels just come out good. I don't know why, or whatever reason, and temperature, it could be whatever.
And if you're talking tier, I mean, if you're talking higher up, that's less often you want to get up there.
Yeah.
So those are going to stay there longer because it's more of a pain in the ass to go retrieve them and put them up. So, every 9 years, all right, we'll switch it out.
And that's the thing with the Four
Unless they're shifting.
Yeah.
But
and the thing with Four Roses, unfortunately, you will not, you'll never get a bottle that tastes exactly like this again. At least I feel like, because there's always going to be, fine, it might be an OESO, you might get another 6 tier, but it might be in a different part of the warehouse. It might be a different, it's not like something that, say you have a Buffalo Trace that is consistently produced, or, a lot of times they blend them so they can get that consistent flavor. This is, you're not going to get more real than this. This is like like a fine wine almost, where like, oh, the 1999 Chardonnay from, whatever, who knows. And I feel like I'm talking to my ass, but yeah, you're never going to get that again. It's very distinct. Let's put it that way. But good stuff. I like it. Cheers. All right.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, man.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
So a couple of weeks ago, we were here talking, and you're like, dude, have you seen the drones on Albany night? Then he started sending photos and videos.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, man.
He's like, what are you talking about, dude?
I wasn't buying it.
He's like, what kind of crazy pills are you swallowing?
I wasn't buying it. I was like, he just drank a bottle of Four Roses. Now he's sitting outside, and he's looking up at the sky at the planes going. And
I know.
And then they're on the news.
Yeah.
And then they're over my house. Yeah. Then they're around my town. And there they are.
There they are.
Freaky shit.
Which, by the way, I saw they put an ordinance out in your town. You can't fly any kind of drone.
You cannot do a drone in my town at all unless you go to the police station and get a permit to do so.
Okay. Is that like a temporary thing, or do you think it's...
I mean, for now, I hope so.
Yeah.
I believe it's to stop people from maybe trying to bring drones over the town so other people freak out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't...
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on. I know what's not going on. I have my opinion on what I don't think it is. I have my opinion on what I think it is.
We have our theories.
And then you have your theory on everybody else's theory, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. And
yes. It's prudent to see where it's coming from, the source, who's talking about it, this experience behind it, and all that fun stuff.
And people are convincing when they talk about it, too. You're like, oh, that guy knows his stuff. Meanwhile, he's like... half in the bag, and he's sitting in front of a bar on a corner, and he's like, I heard from my friend.
To see facts. I need to see certain things. John, I will talk about it in a little bit, but John had mentioned this one person that had talked about it, and she was one of the more convincing ones, I'd say.
It was the one that made the most sense.
Yes, which I'll talk about that, but I kind of want to talk about the other theories first and other things first, and then get to that, maybe.
Yeah, the ones that we want to kind of rule out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. What do you...
Well, recently they had mentioned that they could be possibly looking for something nuclear, something that was lost in transit, or, and For some time, that was the talk of the town or the Facebook groups, and which I want to talk about separately too. That one Facebook group, because that group pisses me off.
I was just gonna say I kind of want to leave it.
I
wanna
may
get out of it.
I may leave it myself.
It's getting annoying.
And we'll talk about that briefly too in a little bit. But one of the things was, yes, they were talking about this. They said because of the sun's, I don't know, gamma rays or something along those, or whatever. This is why they have to look at night, because they have to detect nuclear. And once again, these are things. Even this one, as far as it was on the news, et cetera, et cetera. But apparently they had found what they were looking for, and all the reports had stated that this was lost in early December. We have been experiencing these drones since November something. But that's why I was kind of like...
Supposedly at the port, a ship container came in that was supposed to have a nuclear warhead from Ukraine.
Yeah, something.
And the container came in empty, so they think maybe it showed up in New Jersey, and why?
Yeah, well, we have our ports in New Jersey, so
we do. But then why would it be in here?
yeah. Why? Why here? Why everything? But apparently they had recovered this, like I said, and I think it's one of those things where they say no, that's not the case. Even on the news, they mentioned it's not the case, or whatever. And why are you looking in Chester, New Jersey? Or North Arlington, for nuclear, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And
then the other thing that did make sense, but it didn't, was the radiation. All right, they're checking for radiation. There's been high radiation alerts around, and now they're just doing studies. No.
Yeah.
No. Well, there's no high radiation.
It's odd. So I think we're gonna say that theory, at least in our opinion, is. We don't see it, man. We don't see it. The one thing I wanted to bring up too is they mention it's only at night and everything, and I actually personally, I don't know about you, John, I personally don't believe it. I think they're out in the day too. I don't think there's as much during the day, and we're not looking for them during the day. That's the thing. At nighttime, what do you automatically do now? You look up to the sky and you see what you see. I think during the day...
Well, the thing is, at night, there's lights attached to them. So
exactly.
You're looking at lights. During the day, there's not going to be any lights.
Exactly.
If it's far up there, you're not going to see it.
Feel like they're out there, and I'm going to be quite honest with you. I downloaded that flight radar thing.
As did I.
Yes. Okay. And
Stupid.
I saw a couple things fly over that were not on that radar.
Okay.
So I'm like, I think they're out during the day as well.
Okay.
I think that we just are only seeing it once again because of those lights. We're more aware to it. It's in our face. But I'm kind of... I don't know if you may disagree with that, though, but I think it's...
No, it could be. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking up at the sky during the day, and I'm not seeing anything, but... Yeah, I don't know. Without lights, and then you're looking up, and the sun's up there, I mean, yeah, it's definitely... They could be disguised.
Yes. And people...
Or they could be sleeping during the day.
They could be.
They have to charge at some point.
I know, but who knows? There's technology beyond what we know right now. I mean, our military. They
can't be charged 24 hours a day. They have to charge somewhere.
Yeah, they do. And just to clarify, people, I'm getting sick of these people in these groups. They're saying it's a plane. It's a plane. It's a plane. These things look like planes, people. They look like fucking planes. Yeah. I'm sorry. They do. A lot of them do.
Your typical drone is what? It's square with the helicopter propellers, the four
typical
propellers.
hobby recreational drone.
Right.
Yes.
But you could buy a drone. There are drones that are plane shaped.
That are up to 20-something feet.
Yeah. That
are fixed-wing drones or anything along those military drones.
A drone could be anything. It could be round, like a flying saucer, like UFO.
Yes.
It's
enough with the okay, I understand. People are frustrated because a lot of them may be planes. Don't get me wrong.
I do think 75 to 80% of what people are seeing are planes.
Yes, I mean, I had posted something one time at one point, and it did look kind of like a plane, but it didn't have windows. It didn't have things, and I was like, it's a little odd. It could be something else that. It didn't look like a cargo plane or anything of that sort, but I found it odd. I found it odd enough to post it on that group where it just seemed suspect. I even started the post by saying, yes, it may be a plane. There might be planes in the sky, but why am I seeing 15 planes in the sky?
Right, when I've never seen one of them ever since I've been here before.
Exactly.
And why are they not making a sound?
Yes, and back to that group, I'm going to talk about it right now real brief, if you want to talk, listen, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, I think it's fact. I think that people on some of these Facebook groups are actually hired to either laugh at posts, to comment on posts, and to basically take anything that someone says and to make it less into what's the word for it? Where you're what the hell am I talking about? But they're
there to shut down what you're saying.
They're there to shut it down or make it like you're an idiot or make it like you are,
And I think on the opposite side, they're there too, hired to say, hey, like this is crazy, like to bring people into an uproar.
Yeah. And just for the fact that this group in particular is not deleting people who are making, obviously, people are afraid right now. People are scared. They see something abnormal. They don't know what it is. And people are laughing at them. Like, that's not right. Don't laugh at people. Don't laugh at them because they're nervous. They're scared. They're worried about their families. There still is nothing at this point out there stating why they are here. Right. So people that are doing that, you stop being like a bully, man. Like, seriously, stop doing that. I made a comment on that group. I said, I actually said that, are people being paid to laugh right now? Yeah. Because this is too much right now. Like, people they're scared, they're nervous, and a lot of these people don't even live in New Jersey.
I think that's the thing with all these Facebook groups. A lot of people go on there just to heckle and be stupid.
Well, they're trolling. The one guy was trolling. I saw he had like no friends on Facebook. Yeah, I'm like, you created an account to basically troll. Yeah. You created, and I actually made that comment. He hadn't nothing to say. I'm like, you have no friends on Facebook right now. You created this to troll. Yeah. I'm like, there's something up here. There's something going on.
Some loser with no friends sitting there jacking off to people complaining about drones.
Yeah, like I think people are ready to they're like, hold on, there's a laugh. Yeah. Laugh. Which makes me more suspect to it all. And who's now this group has 70-something thousand. Yeah. What's it, Mystery Jones?
Something like that. They're not even from New Jersey. Most of them aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
And 70-something thousand followers. There was something created there. Something created to steer the masses, I feel like. And something created there where they can guide what's going on and what people are thinking and kind of steer it in whatever direction they want.
Sure, absolutely.
Which is, once again, another reason why I want to. But every once in a while, you'll see a legit post, and that's the only reason I stay on.
It's just too much, though.
I know.
It's too much.
I know.
The one theory that I would like to throw away as well is the Iranian ship.
Yes.
They talked about all these... So supposedly these drones are coming from the water. They're coming from the ocean, which I don't count out. I don't know. But what I will count out is there's no gigantic Iranian ship sitting off the coast of New Jersey where all these things at night come out like a cartoon, come out and they're resting during the day. Who's not going to see this?
And that was wrong for that. What was it Congressman of New Jersey?
Yes, a New Jersey congressman said this. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's not something in a person in your position. Know for sure exactly this stuff before you start ranting and saying certain things.
Number one, these things are like 20 feet long. They're huge. They're not small.
Yeah,
they're like the size of cars. Maybe not 20 feet, but they're
bigger than cars. Some of them.
They're big. Yeah. You're not putting 100 drones on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Like it's not, you would notice this.
Yeah.
And then they're coming out of the water. There's a submarine under the water.
Yeah. That's got to be a pretty big damn submarine for it to be coming out of the water. But I mean, unless there's multiple, like a drone, 3 drones, not even. I mean, you can't fit this stuff on submarines here, people. It's not going to happen. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, unless there's... I'm ignorant to submarines and the size of them. I don't think that's going to necessarily be the case. Now
you have people posting like Sandy Hook webcams. What is that? Look at that! It just came out of the water.
Yeah.
No, that's a plane.
Yeah.
No, that's a star.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yes. I don't
know it's scary.
Yeah.
Calm down.
And the other thing I'm going to say, too, which I was going to talk about on that one theory, which we had discussed, I don't think it's foreign. I don't think because these drones are flying low.
If this was foreign, they would have been taken out already.
Exactly. I think they would have been gone. They would have been, listen, I know we've lost some faith in our country in ways, in our military and decision-making, all that stuff recently. But I still believe that if it was an enemy, if it was another country flying in with drones this low, that yes, they would have been eradicated. I think it would have been an issue that was taken care of.
The only thing that scares me is when Trump has an interview and he's like, "Well, I was supposed to go to New Jersey this weekend, but I'm going to cancel that trip."
I know.
Shit.
I know.
Should I cancel living here too?
Yeah. Well, sometimes he speaks a little out of his ass, and he's kind of like, just whatever, throwing it out there and this and that. But yes, I can see where he's going. He will be the future president of the United States, and I don't blame him. If he wants to just play things safe, figure it out, learn a little bit more on it himself. He is the president-elect, but he is not the president yet. So I'm sure his resources and things aren't necessarily all there just yet.
Correct.
I'm sure he'll find out more when that time comes.
And speaking of that, where is our president? Where is he? Is he still alive?
Has he even talked on it? I don't know if he has.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him or her say anything about it.
Yeah.
Are they around? Did they leave
Well,
already?
I feel like she's a sore loser, and she's like, all right, well, you didn't vote for me, I'm done.
But did they move out already? Is it just vacant?
I have no idea. Is
Is he still alive?
It's like Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, is he propped up somewhere?
God.
They're taking his hand with the pencil so he
You
can
see
vote?
that video of Jimmy Carter watching him?
trying
The
to
guy-
vote?
I'm like, that guy's dead right now. Yeah, I'm like, he might have a pulse in there somewhere, but he looks like he's
He was
dead.
the president when I was born.
Me too. Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. But yes, I think that
I want to bring up one more theory.
just to,
All right, go ahead.
back to what I was saying. I think the foreign thing is.
Yeah, agree.
I don't think it's a foreign.
Agreed. I think that would have been shot down. An Iranian ship in the middle of the water would have been seen.
Yeah.
And taken care of.
Especially during these times, et cetera, et cetera.
No.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah.
E.T. Could it be E.T.? Could he be finding his way home? Could he be looking for home? I know you said you really don't believe in that.
No, I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in any of that
But
stuff.
the more scary thing instead of the drones is now the orbs.
Yeah.
Which you might have caught one. You showed me the video. We don't know if it's an orb, if it's a star.
Yeah, I thought it was. I was looking at something in the distance over the horizon by my house, and I've been a little bit of a freak with this stuff
It was
recently.
a little bright for
recording
a
stuff.
star at that time of day, though.
Yeah, it was
No?
dusk, and it was steady. It wasn't moving like a drone. A drone usually could see, unless it was something. But the odd
It
thing
looked
was,
like it wasn't moving at all.
and the odd thing I had told John was that I went back outside to look for it again, and then it disappeared.
Right.
And
If
then
it was a star, it would have stayed there
and then I went back outside again, and then I saw it again. So
in the same spot.
yeah. So the one thing I will say though, if it is a drone in the distance, if it's, I feel like there's different types of drones and everything. If it was a drone that was hovering there and it's just sitting there for some reason, I don't know why, but if it was just sitting there and it was hovering, then these drones have the capability to shut their lights off as well.
Yes.
And it was way in the distance. Like I had to kind of like really zoom in with my phone. A lot of these things that people are posting, they're zooming in with their phones. Any kind of light, any kind of star is kind of gonna look similar in a way to that. We don't know about it. What are they calling them? UAPs.
UAPs.
Yeah. Which I mean, as far as a UAP, people
Unidentified aero.
It's
It was a weird word.
UAP stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. It's terms used to describe airborne, underwater, transmedium objects that are not immediately identifiable.
Yeah, that's the new word for UFO.
Yeah,
Or
kind
UAP now.
Yeah, UAPs. Well, UFOs, unidentified flying objects.
Right,
So,
but they've gotten rid of that.
which technically, what we're seeing, a lot of them are unidentified flying objects. That they also can be objects that exhibit behaviors that are not easily understood by sensors or observers. It's replaced the previous term of well, there you go. Okay, this one technically replaced unidentified aerial phenomena, the UAPs of 2022. The new term includes underwater objects, which
that's
were
right.
not included in the previous term. Okay, so that's why. It's
now
not
all of a sudden
aerial.
there's aliens coming out of the water.
Yeah. Investigators prefer to use the term UAP over UFO to avoid confusion and speculative associations. The U.S. Department of Defense has a task force that assesses the threat posed by UAPs and the progress made in understanding them. NASA is also studying UAPs through an independent study team led by astrophysicist David Spergel. Look him up, people. I don't know who he is. They will analyze data, sources, identify what can be used to shed light on UAPs. Okay. There's different natural things that happen in our environment. There's the northern lights. There's things going on. There's things with, oxygen gases in the air, things of that sort. We don't know what exactly it could be. There's certain things that we see that in everyday life that you're like, oh, like mirages or anything of that sort. Certain temperatures, how things react, how things do things. So we don't necessarily know what this is and why we're seeing it now. It could be just because we're looking in the sky more often now. Who knows?
This is why I want to bring up. I was listening to Joe Rogan today. Yesterday, He did a podcast with Ryan Graves. I had to look up who that was.
Okay.
He is the founder and executive director of the Americans for Safe Aerospace. He is a military pilot. Oh, this is the first military pilot-led nonprofit dedicated to UAP as a matter of national security, aerospace safety, and science. He's an ex-Navy, and he was on. He would fly a lot of the planes.
So he's seen his fair share out there. Maybe some things that he caught his eye that he wasn't sure about.
Yes.
Okay.
He's got friends on the inside, people giving him intel, this and that. And he's not ruling out, though, that this could be. It could be aliens. It could be extraterrestrials. They're stuffed up there that we have no clue where they came from, what they're doing. The military has a lot of video.
Yeah.
They have a lot of video, a lot of audio of different things. Yeah. You can look at it yourself. There's the gimbal video, the Go Fast video of actually Navy planes and Air Force planes catching these UFO-looking things.
So that's an
flying.
outside perspective on it because he's been there. He's kind of flown planes. He's done his thing.
And you listen to Joe Rogan. You know he doesn't really...
Joe Rogan, he's
a little out there.
He's an alien kind of guy.
He's an out... Right? Yeah. He's out there.
Yeah.
So he didn't really dismiss it as well.
Yeah. Isn't his comedy club called like the Mothership or something like that? It's
and he's got one on the show.
Yeah. No, I know. So he's kind of, he leans towards that, I think.
So, but maybe that's something that we can't rule out. I mean, maybe they're out there. Why are we the only ones here? Maybe they're out there.
Let me ask you this though. Back to the aliens, though.
Yeah.
And I've said this about Area 51. I'm going to get murdered one of these days. I've said this about Area 51. Area 51, I don't believe has aliens. I don't believe it ever had aliens. I believe that the government wants you to believe it's aliens, but I think they want you to believe it's aliens because as long as you're believing it's aliens, you don't know what's really going on there. And I think that could be the case here. They might want us to believe it's aliens. They might want us to believe whatever. They might be planting those things out there so we can say, oh, look at those orbs. Those are aliens or whatever. What's going on?
They could.
And they're doing that to distract us from what's really going on.
Which I agree with.
Okay.
I don't know if I believe in aliens or not.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen one.
Yeah.
I've never seen a spaceship. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
no anal probes or anything of the sort.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I wish, but no. I agree wholeheartedly that this is our government putting these things out there, not to make us panic, but to test us.
Yeah.
To test our local governments. If shit were to go down.
Yeah.
How things would work.
Yeah.
Maybe these drones are military. How they work if something were to go down.
What do they call it? PSYOPs or something like that or whatever? It's like it's basically, which is another theory where they're testing how people react.
Yes.
I'm probably saying it wrong, by the way, but how people react to drones, things that they don't normally see, things of that sort. Almost, and that could be a form of warfare in and of itself. And how I'll look it up and just to give you a formal definition of it.
But if this is true, at what point do you stop? Because now the public's in a panic.
Yeah.
What are you trying to prove from this? Because now you're going to get your rednecks out there with their shotguns.
I know.
And grenades or whatever they have, and they're going to try to shoot these things down.
Yeah.
These things are huge. They're going to fall on houses. They're going to fall on people.
Yes.
At what point do they come clean, or what point do they just stop?
Or you have someone that's a loose cannon already, and at what point they say, the aliens are coming, they shoot themselves in the head. You're killing people now.
I've read and heard that on December 27th is the last day of this agreement, that these drones, we're not going to see them anymore.
Well, we shall see. But, why do it during the holiday season? People are just trying to enjoy themselves with their families. Why cause the stress, the anxiety, all that stuff? Why now? I'm pissed off.
Maybe because it's a busy season, they don't think people would notice as much as if it was a nice summer night.
People are going to notice, and I'm pissed off because it's like, especially in the United States, we're primarily Christians here, And we celebrate our holidays, and we just want to enjoy it. I mean, I'll have to say, it got the best of me a few times, where I'm like, I've had my good days and bad days, but I just don't like knowing things. And I even said it to my wife. I'm like, this shit is ruining Christmas for me.
It is. It's causing anxiety for people.
Yeah.
It's causing stress. We want to make sure our families are safe.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what's the right thing to do? Where do we go?
Yeah.
We're going to move to Kansas in the center where nobody cares?
Yeah, I know.
We're going to go up to your lake house?
I know. But they're getting it up there, I think, too. But so PSYOP, it's PSYOP. It's psychological operations, a military operation that uses psychological methods to influence the behavior of groups, organizations, and government. Specialists in this field analyze target audiences and environments, develop messages and actions, and advise commanders. They use a variety of communication media, including radio, TV, newspapers, comic books, to achieve their goals. These specialists are selected for their critical thinking skills, mental resilience, and adaptability. They operate in small teams and may be involved in military teams and may be involved in military information support operations, psychological warfare, military deception, and civil authority information support. This is kind of pinpointing like a specialist in this field, I guess you would say, but you're kind of getting the rundown of what it could be, almost like a psychological warfare, where people are like, I see something in the sky.
Well, yeah, they're messing with your head.
They become obsessed with it, and then it creates almost chaos, and end up just looking at what they're doing, what they're putting out there.
And that's exactly what is happening right now.
Yeah, and they just want to see people's reaction, and they want to see how it is out there. So that's another thing. Is it that? I think it's plausible.
I believe. Yeah.
I think that's plausible. I think that there could be something with that. I'm not saying that's the case, but it's not necessarily something that I think would be false.
I'm leaning most towards this is our government doing this, and we watched a video recently.
Yes.
That brought this up, and they made some really good points.
Yes. So we watched the video. John had sent it to us. And I even said after watching the video, I said, this seems... There's only one thing, which I'll mention afterwards, which I was a little skeptic about because of what's happening recently. But there was one video that kind of... She pinpointed certain things that I said, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. I forget her name. I'm sorry. I would love to give her a shout-out, but I don't remember her name. But it was... So basically what she was saying is that programs in place designed to use our own technology and to get away from using foreign technology. So this was back in maybe a couple years ago or something that they actually started to put programs in place. So say we have some certain technology that we're getting from other countries, say China, elsewhere. We want to, in a way, we want to get away from that. We don't want China. We want to use American this, American that. We don't want them knowing what we're doing. Right. We don't want them. So we want to start creating our own, because they're ahead of us. I hate to say it, but they're ahead of us. When it comes 100%. To drone technology, they're far more advanced. But we want to start doing it where we're not using others' technology. We want to create our own and work from there. We have some people out there that are geniuses. We have our Elon Musk. We have people that can maybe create things that, we can go in our own direction with.
Absolutely.
So this is something that was mentioned there, that this was put in place a couple years ago. And it says a testing corridor was created between New Jersey and Delaware, allowing safe trials. Okay, well, that makes sense. Being around here, because, if it was put in place here, then that kind of makes sense. While they say safe trials.
The bulk is New Jersey.
Yes, and a lot of people say if it's military, why aren't they testing over an open field? I think it depends on what kind of testing they're doing.
Yeah, we don't know what testing is.
Yes, exactly. Just so people know, and I'm just going to reiterate what I had said before, the wingspan of these things could range from 4 meters to 7 meters. 7 meters is roughly, 22, something like that?
27 feet. That's big.
They're pretty big. So we're talking plane status here, people. That's pretty freaking big.
It's not your Walmart drone.
Yes. Let's clarify that, right? Yes, a lot of them might be planes, but when you're looking out at night, once again, where I live, where I might see a plane every 45 minutes, and now I could look up in the air and see 10 of them or whatever, Right, which
not to interrupt or cut you off, but that was another one of my theories. Where are they storing this? It's not on a ship in the water. It's not on a submarine under the water.
Yeah.
Where are you storing these things? Because if there's 8 spotted here. There's 8 spotted by me.
Yes.
That's 16. And then you got the rest of the state.
Yeah.
What's the best place? How about military bases?
Yeah. And I've heard people say near military bases they've been seeing this for the last year or two.
Yeah,
you know,
longer.
so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It says possibly testing counter drone systems could be a possibility. They might be looking into if there was an attack on the U.S. We have shit going down in Russia. We have shit going, not our shit, but we're involved in it. Unfortunately, we have our hand in too many things right now, and that could backfire on us eventually. Be it Russia, be it
North Korea,
be it China, be it Iran,
Syria.
or any of those places. We have to be ready, and
Mexico?
we have to be ready. So possibly testing counter drone systems, which ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. I'm butchering my words today. They also, what she had mentioned, possible AI navigation development, which is why we see over areas that may be more populated. AI is a new thing for us, people. Now you see us using it to our advantage. You see it with us in a podcast. A lot of times when we're posting stuff on Instagram, we're using an AI generated image. It's fun. It's easy, and sometimes seeing a photo of something that our vision is pretty cool to see come out there. So AI is out and about, and we're using it in ways that we never thought we can use it. And possible AI navigation development, which is why we see it over in some of these densely populated areas. Because of the compartmentalization of our government, one side of government never knows what the other side is doing. Left hand, right hand. Who's doing what?
100%.
So we don't...
We all know that's true.
Yeah. There's always going to be different branches of the government, different branches of... between military to our CIA, FBI, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We don't know who's doing what. And, you can have... I don't know if it's true, but you could have one... developing the warhead and another one developing the, we don't know exactly what's going on and how that works.
System,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Federal, local, and military don't communicate. That's the bottom line.
No.
Also, it can be funded outside of government with different contracts and subcontractors. Another thing which we have to keep in mind too as well. Media plays into it because it's exciting to cover, and that's a thing too. The election's over. Things are going. I'm piggybacking on what she's saying, and the election is over. And
you need your new flavor of the month topic. That's what you need.
Yeah. Yes. It's a big thing. It's a big news coverage. They're like, oh, drones. Oh, New Jersey. Okay, okay. People listen to the news. They're afraid. They're getting nervous. Let's talk about that. And I find that these news media never have a really good update.
No.
It's always just repeating themselves or repeating what someone else said that is basically telling us they know nothing. I think some of these people out there that aren't in the media probably know a hell of a lot more. And what I had mentioned before, just to reiterate what I said before, if it was foreign, they wouldn't be able to fly at the elevation they're flying at. Also, we got to think about some of it. I mentioned Elon before. Elon has endorsed drone warfare. Yes. Because it's more cost-effective, less casualty, et cetera. Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. So that, for me, that theory there, the only thing I didn't, that threw a little bit of a curveball in my head was that she had mentioned it was our area for a reason because they had permission, et cetera, et cetera. But why are we seeing that people in Alabama or whatever are now seeing them, unless they're not really seeing them?
I was going to say, but are they?
Yeah.
But are they? Maybe they want to see them. Yeah. Maybe they want this. Because I heard the same thing. Oh, they're over England now.
Yeah.
Are they, though?
Well, I think England was before here, I think, actually. So
maybe we're getting intel from England then. I mean, those are our...
I don't know. It could be... And once again, if it's military, think about this, though. If we're at war, who's on our side?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those are our alliances.
Yeah.
Maybe that's intel that's being shared.
Exactly.
Listen, it makes sense because shit's about to go down. Believe it or not, shit's about to go down. Our current administration is feeding Ukraine weapons and money, and they are fighting back on Russia pretty hard.
We may be meddling in things we should not be meddling in.
We should not be involved. Yeah. And Russia's getting pissed, and Russia's about to just be like, you know what? I'm just about to smoke all your asses.
I hate to bring it up, but 9/11. We were doing things, we were messing around in places in the Middle East, Afghanistan, etc. Yep. A lot of these people, Well, I'm not justifying any of this. Trust me. But a lot of these people had suffered their own things over there, and they were pissed off, and they came they came back, and that's what happened. So
Listen, I don't know. I mean, we're meddling in way too much.
yeah,
Even Canada's getting pissed at us. It's too much going on between Israel and
we're trying to be Superman to the world,
Palestine,
and it's
and Ukraine and Russia, and I'm telling you, Russia is a powerhouse, man.
Yeah.
Russia's a powerhouse because they're going to team up with North Korea and
infinite
China.
resources and
That's a
tons of
threesome
money.
you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
Because who's going to come to our side? Who's going to come to our help?
Yeah.
What, Israel's going to come to our help?
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Yes. And well, hopefully things will change in a couple months. And
with me saying that is just because maybe that's why this makes sense that
Yeah.
the government is doing this. Well, when stuff does go down, maybe they do have to look. Maybe after there's a nuclear bomb here,
Yeah.
maybe there will be radiation like Chernobyl. And maybe these drones are looking for, well, we need to see what the radiation is.
capability, et cetera, et cetera.
To see if this is a safe place or we have to get people out. Or
Well,
we might, maybe they'll.
John, I'm going to piggyback on what you're saying right now. And I could be wrong, and this is just a theory that popped in my head right now. Is they're checking for levels of radiation now so that there is a before and after if, God forbid, something happens. Chester, New Jersey has a radiation of whatever, or this. We're not detecting much.
Right.
Now they're able to measure if God forbid, once again, before, after. Where do they have to clear people from? Where do they have to see? Where is it going to be an issue?
Yes.
If this were potentially to happen, who
Yes.
knows? We don't know.
To me, that makes more sense than
Yeah.
than foreign objects. Makes
Yeah.
more sense than aliens.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at we're close over here to Picatinny Arsenal,
Yeah.
right? FBI is the only people allowed in there. Nobody else is allowed in or out. No state government is allowed in or out.
Oh, which I did debunk that thing that you said, though, because
that?
you had mentioned that you heard that employees weren't allowed to go or whatever. I talked to employees there, and they said, no, we're working.
Yeah, well, when I first heard that, I was told that they weren't that they were on like a lockdown. That they were.
Yeah, no, that wasn't.
Okay.
From what like I said, I know a couple employees there that they're like, no, I'm working.
Okay.
So I don't know.
But, all right, so then maybe what else I'm hearing is that FBI is the only people, like state government's not allowed in. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, this theory makes more sense than anything else that's been thrown.
Yes.
And it eases me a little bit,
It does.
but it also, on the other hand, puts us on high alert because are they expecting this to happen?
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. It's comforting to maybe know what the answer is, but it's also discomforting to know that there's a possibility that they're preparing for something. And if they're preparing for something, that means we need to prepare for something. And if we need not to strike fear in anyone's, this could absolutely just be testing and just that's it. And that's straight up, that's what it is. So listen, I'm not fear-mongering or whatever.
I guess they don't want us to pack our shit and go.
Yeah, which
Everybody's going to go to the middle, and then that's it.
Which would create panic too as well. They try not to do that.
But give us something. Give us.
But
give us something.
I was telling John before this. I was like, I've been kind of buying some stuff that I normally wouldn't buy.
Buy a fucking hazmat suit, dude.
Well, yeah. I considered gas mask, but then it says you can't have a beard with a gas mask, and I said that's not happening. I think I'd rather die.
I'd rather die of radiation than shave.
And plus they say, your skin's going to be fried, whatever. And they said take these pills for your to protect radiation for your thyroid. Well, I don't have a thyroid because mine was removed. But I do worry about my family, so don't get me wrong. But I
At least
did.
if we go, we're going together.
But I did get extra water that I normally wouldn't get. I did get some stuff for power outage stuff. Let's just call it that.
Power hour?
Power outage stuff. Power outage stuff like things like a crank radio or things that can run on solar and things that can just as a listen.
You never know, man.
You never know. And like I said, I call it power outage stuff because that's the time that you may use it. Is power outage. I'm not saying you're going to be using it for this, but I'm just saying.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, let's just say it is something that's always before all this drone shit that's been going on. It's something that's always I've been thinking about for some time, and this was kind of like the kick in the ass I needed, I guess,
Yeah,
to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
All right.
where we're at
Yeah,
with it.
That's what we're thinking right now.
Yeah,
Let us know what you think.
and I'm sure the next time me and John are back here together, we'll have some more
Probably
updates.
more updates, yeah.
We might have a few episodes in between there, so don't think that we're just jumping off the topic. It's because we record a couple episodes sometimes, and but we did feel it was important. That's why we did wait a little longer to release this, because we wanted to make sure that we talked more on this, because it's something that's been bothering us.
Bothering a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's totally justifiable, people.
Yeah. And if you're from Jersey and you believe it's this, you believe it's that, let us know. We're interested. I'm interested in all the theories.
That's the key word, from New Jersey. I'm tired of these people from California or wherever they are, and they're like trying to chime in. You're not seeing what we're seeing.
No.
You're not looking up into the sky and seeing lights all over the place,
Yeah, last night there were 4 of them close to my house.
Yeah.
And they were actually... My wife's like, no, those are planes. And I was like, but they're going in like a circle formation. You know what I mean? The same one's coming around.
Which makes you think
and
that
it's low. And then she's like, well, maybe it's a helicopter. I was like, get in the car.
And I feel like the flight patterns have been, for the most part, similar.
Yeah.
Like I see the same. They're always doing the same kind of
thing.
Which
makes it like that's robotic. Right?
Yes, they're doing a drill. They're trying. They're looking into different technologies, and they need a consistent read on a certain area or whatever it is.
It's gonna be funny if it's something fucking stupid, right? Like some idiot's in his basement like this.
No, it's not that, man. And these,
Dude,
and
it's gonna be so disappointing.
I think it's safe to assume some of these drones are worth millions, probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Anything military,
Because if they're out at night, they have to have some kind of FLIR camera and they're not seeing anything. It's gonna be pitch black. Whatever they're looking for doing, it's pitch black. They're not just flying just to fly.
I know. I wonder if they have infrared, like
there has to be infrared, FLIR. There has to be stuff on.
They see me on the toilet or something, and they're like, "Oh, he's pooping."
They're up there, and they're like, they see you outside going like that. And they're like, keep an eye on that guy.
I've seen some people are crazy with it, or I've seen the laser point. I don't know how real they are.
Well, did you hear that? The lady was a pilot. She put that on that drone's Facebook page?
Oh, no.
She goes, whoever pointed that green laser into my eyes, she's like, yeah, I almost couldn't land. It's my small plane.
Yeah.
And then another person put, my father's now blinded. He can't fly for a certain amount of time because those laser pointers were put right into his face.
Are they real people, though? I wonder.
Yeah, it could be the trolls. Yeah,
who knows? Who knows? But yes, it doesn't mean that we should be shooting lasers. At these things, or shooting
guns. Don't shoot guns at these things.
or anything of the
sort.
sort.
If they're big as they say they are, which they look pretty damn big, they're gonna fall out of the sky and they're gonna freaking kill somebody.
Yeah, and then, dude, have you heard about these? I know we want to finish this up, but have you heard? Like, I keep seeing these reports: drone crash.
And it's like a Cessna.
Well, no, they never is. There's never. They always say something crash, and there's tons of police presence, but they never tell you anything. What is that?
I don't think anything ever crashes. I think people are calling it out and making it up.
Yeah, but dude, the only one.
Did you see that video of the cop in Brooklyn? Actually,
No.
had it in his hand, but it wasn't big though.
Yeah.
It was like that. It wasn't like what they said though.
There was one not too far from here. I forget the town. Something with an H maybe, and the cops were there overnight.
Yeah.
They were there all night, overnight, and even throughout the next day, there was presence there, and they had like ATVs and stuff looking for stuff in this open field, or I don't know.
Maybe they heard it crash and then it disappeared.
I don't know. Is it like Predator shit? Where
Maybe.
it could kind of like turn off its like it could just
blend in with
it
the,
could be like a chameleon,
trees.
and it just kind of you can't see it, like. We'll see. Hey, listen, we're praying on it, and we're hoping that it's nothing big, and what else can we do? It's right now, it's just, from a religious standpoint, it obviously it makes you think a little bit of Revelation and then days and things like that, and
of the world
as we know it. Yeah, and it makes you think, whatever. And I think that's what keeps me going too. I have my faith, and I have my protector, and I feel good about it. So, we're good. We're good.
Shout out.
We have
4 Roses.
Yeah, just a whiskey today. Yeah, we have 4 Roses OESO. Bottle Republic's where I got it from. Shout out to those guys. Sometimes I have some pretty decent picks. I think I did a pick with them. The Jefferson's Ocean was theirs too.
Oh, sweet.
So I had picked up a couple from them recently. So some of their stuff is a little inflated though, like their higher end bottles. But this was decent price for what it was.
Folks, stay safe.
Yeah,
like,
stay
comment,
safe.
subscribe.
Tell us what you think. Tell us
Yeah.
what you think of what we're saying. None of these are necessarily our theories, but they are things that we might lean a little bit more towards. This could be a possibility. This could be a possibility, etc. Let us know what you think on it all, and we'll be more than happy to listen. So good stuff. 4 Roses. Cheers to you, John, and cheers to you.